I've always made the comment that once a miller, always a miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good heavens, he's done it again! Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello everybody, welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast and it's a win at home, another win. 3 wins in a row at home, I think, now in the league. So maybe the corner has been turned. We are going to chat through the game itself, the 3 goals, incidents, some baffling refereeing moments, and everything. We'll pick through it. Mick's with us. How are you doing, Mick?
Yeah, still gutted, mate. Still devastated, but I'll get over it. Don't worry.
Yeah. We'll lose soon enough. I'll let you happy on it. So.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm hoping for that coming soon.
Danny's back. How are you doing, Danny?
I'm doing all right. I think I've just about recovered from yesterday.
Excellent news. And Tom's with us. How are you doing, Tom?
Yeah, feeling better than you're sounding, so all good.
Yeah, voice is gone. I think I appear to have a very fragile voice. I didn't think I did, but when you win 3-0, things get silly, don't they? So
a tired voice.
A very tired voice. First of all, we're going to message from Kev who wants us to push out, remind you all of the Miller Men single that's coming out. We've got a QR code in the top corner. Kev said there is already raised over £3,000 for the Rotherham Hospice already. And I know there'll be a lot of other people that's kind of waiting for the payday. We're going to go even further as well. So that is brilliant. We'll come on to a few people who make a 3-0 prediction. We'll go on to that in a bit. But Martin Holland's with us, as is YouTuber, says very happy. A very happy good evening, one and all. Tom Hensby with us. Stevie Mick's with us. Paula Rhodes says, evening all. Not sure what shocked me the most, the win or Mick being so cheerful after the match. That was all for sure, Paula, that to be fair. As soon as you turned the cameras off, you were fuming.
I mean, it's just simply not true, but yeah, I'll go with it.
Stevie Mick says he's 3-3 for the New York Talk football shirt. He couldn't watch this one, but he had it under his work clothes for the first time, so it clearly worked. Look, we need these things. Nick, 3-0. We'll come on to the specifics in a minute because there's a lot to talk about. But a really, really, really good performance that one yesterday. Really good day.
Yeah, it was excellent. It was excellent. We like I said in the post match, a completely different performance from virtually anything we've seen all season. And you know, like I said, we were patient to build up. We kept possession of the ball. We weren't oofing it long every 2 minutes or at all almost throughout the game. It was a really, really positive performance and one that suited the quality of players that we've got in this squad. But the style of play suited them as well. And it's different. It's different to what we've seen. Hugely, hugely different, in my view, anyway. And that's got to be a positive. It's got to be a positive. So, yeah, really, really happy with that performance.
Yeah. A bit of a progression, though, Dennis. So, obviously, choose now, we played pretty well, but other than keeping mistakes, we win that 3-1, or maybe even 3-0. And this is kind of literally the same thing. Northampton were poor, but we took full advantage of it. This is what we do. If you look at Burton game this season, Bristol Rovers game, we didn't take advantage of teams that weren't very good. Saturday, we just put them to the sword completely, and that's a massive improvement.
Absolutely, I absolutely loved yesterday's result. And just watching the highlights back quickly now, we seemed to be at Northampton. We were in the faces. We were pressing high. We were getting ball into the 6-yard box. And like I mentioned on the last podcast, we are so much more accurate with those balls into the 6-yard box. And Clarke-Harris's first goal comes from it. He nearly scores again with effectively the same ball into the 6-yard box. There's still a question mark on if he's offside or not, which we'll probably talk about in a minute. But it's so refreshing to see us be at teams and not be scared of anybody. You know, like we were in the faces, we were on the front foot, we were pressing the ball. We were just at Northampton the entire time, and we didn't really give them much breathing space, really. And if that's how we want to play our football, then long may it carry on, because that is the Rotherham United that we've known in the past, the team that's in your faces and goes, right, we're going to beat you. And we did that with Northampton. If we can do that for the rest of the season against some of the bigger fish in the league, then we'll be going up the table in no time. So I'm really, really happy about Saturday's result. This feels like, fingers crossed, everything's crossed. This is the turning point. That result was, you can do it. Now keep doing it.
Yeah. Paul Reese says Green was a better fresher, which we'll definitely talk about. Andre Green. Mine Rushworth says, evening, let's not get carried away because they were poor. Let's do it consistently, then we can see we've turned a corner. What I would say to that, and we're right, we shouldn't be getting carried away, but Tom, we said the same about Lincoln City, that they weren't very good. So are we underdoing us now that we've won 3 games in a row at home? We've won 3 games in a row with the cup game as well. Are we not giving Rotherham United enough credit at the minute? Because we can't beat us in front of you, can't you?
Yeah. And we've said it, all season, that every team that sort of turns up isn't better than the last, and we've consistently said that this isn't one of the, it's not one of the best leagues I've ever seen, and it's far from the quality it used to be. So yeah, I think you're going to get a lot of teams that are of that ilk. Look, Northampton, they knocked it about all right. They weren't threatening, which is a credit to the defensive structure, and Eves ducked under 2, so another day that could be 2 back, and they weren't the worst team we've played this season, and they were far from the best team that we've played this season. But you're absolutely right. You've got to beat what's in front of you, and if we can do that consistently, as Danny said, if you know that we've got it in us now, if you reach that benchmark and hit that benchmark every game, you'll win football games in this league, because the quality doesn't get much better than what Northampton had on offer, and that's a fact. And we've said it all season that the league isn't great, and this is our level. This is where we should be. That's what scoreline we should be beating certain teams at. So yeah, I think it's a massive discredit to the Rotherham United performance that happened, because it wasn't, for all intents and purposes, it wasn't the perfect game, but it was a lot better and a lot more what we can produce. So we just need to kick on from here, and each game has to be of that ilk, if not better. And I think the players can get better, personally. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think the players, a lot of those players have got another levels. It's Andre Green's first game for 14 months. He's going to get better. He's only going to get better. But let's talk about the goals. Mike Miller says, don't bother discussing whether the first goal was onside. He said the right back played Clarke-Harris on. It was very close, Mick. What I would also say is the lino decided not to make some other decisions very early in the game. But look, it was a wonderful ball by Sam Nombe. And if you put Clarke-Harris in that position, he's going to score 99 times out of 100. And that's what we haven't done. And that's what we did twice yesterday. That first goal was maybe offside, probably not, but it was still a very good goal.
Yeah, it was. It was great work from Sam Nombe, and an absolute peach of a cross. So Mike saying he weren't offside, that's fine. I'll take that. I looked at it from our angle, and I think from the angle of all it's every single one of the Northampton supporters as well. But hey, again, you've got to play with what you get, and we've had so many decisions go against us over the past few years that we'll accept it gratefully if it was offside, but it sounds like not. So happy days. But yeah, Sam Nombe was excellent there. Really, really good cross, an absolute peach, and he put another one in a bit later on as well, which was absolutely on the money. So somebody mentioned in the comments earlier on, and you're absolutely right. We played with width and we put balls in the box. It's something we've been screaming for months, literally months.
Not years.
Yeah. Well, years. Yeah, from last year as well. And we've also been asking to get rid of this stupid long ball game that had gone yesterday. It went and the benefits of that we're plain to see for everybody. So yeah, good goal, well worked goal, and like you said, you give Clarke-Harris a chance there, he's going to take it. 9 times out of 10, he's going to take it. So yeah, good goal.
Yeah, and Clarke-Harris, Danny, we all know what Clarke-Harris does, what he can do. It's almost, it feels like it's really on the players around him to help him better, help him more, make those chances, because he's going to have those chances. He's going to score them, as he proved with both goals yesterday.
Yeah, and I mean, I said in the last podcast, Clarke-Harris earlier on in the season, his shot conversion rate was awful. You could put it down to lack of confidence or because of the injury in pre-season. Oh, we've lost Matt. Okay, Mick, you're in the show now. But now with Clarke-Harris, he seems to be finding his accuracy now. Like with his first goal, I would have said it would be harder not to score than it would be to score, but I would have said Clarke-Harris in the opening few games of the season would have somehow headed it to the keeper. You know, then like Mick said there, the exact same chance presents itself again, and the keeper makes a good save. So he's getting in the right positions and he's getting his confidence, and that proved with the second goal as well. To take that first time on his weaker foot, like don't get me wrong, it's a brilliant pullback from Green on the right hand side. Clarke-Harris slots it home perfectly. It's such an attractive tap-in to watch. It's the pullback, it's it first time, nestled in bottom corner, 2-0 happy days. But he seems to be finding his form, his confidence, and his accuracy. And, you know, we said in the last podcast, if Clarke-Harris hits 20 goals and the majority are penalties, we wouldn't say no. But he's now proving that he's not just a penalty scorer. He can score in the 6-yard box. He just needs to prove he can score outside the 18-yard box now. But we won't pause on ceremony for that one. We'll wait and see. As long as he keeps knocking them in open play now, we'll be fine. My tone has changed massively from this result because it's the first time this season I've looked at us and gone, could be all right this season, you know.
Yeah, it's taking time, but these things happen, don't they? Mark Gallen says, I think the result this afternoon probably rules Pep out of the running to replace Steve Evans if the result's sour. Joking aside, super performance yesterday, even better result, buzzing for Green. Let's talk about Andre Green, Tom. I think we were all surprised he started. I think I was a shock. Managed to get 70 minutes out of him, whatever it was. That guy's quality was evident instantly. He had such a good game yesterday. He got man of the match. Sometimes it's a bit of a stupid decision. It was brilliant, Andre Green, and he could stay fit. It could be a huge player for us in the next few months. Yeah, I mean, we were saying after the game that Mick's put him down as player of the season, and we laughed when he did that. And you know, may have to eat our words because he is a player that shows that he's a bit of class above the rest. And you know, I said it in the post match as well, but I was surprised to see him behind Clarke-Harris. I think it was a strange decision to see him central, but it works really well because the pace out wide with the technical ability of Green really works. I think he pulled all the right strings between that front four. And his first touch is great. His movement's great. His quick passing is fantastic. His intelligence, his attacking intelligence is great. I just think there's so much to like about him. And you know, I think maybe if things would have gone differently last season and he was, you know, he would have maybe made a difference. Who knows? But he is a proper, you know, one of the players that I look at and think he's probably not League One level. He's probably, you know, better than that. So I just, he's just a joy to watch. He's a player that does the simple stuff really well, but also has a flair about him and has a knack for the brilliance. And like that second goal, Clarke-Harris' second goal, I think honestly is my favorite goal of the season because it's so simple but so effective how it was scored. Simple flick on, ball back across the box, and you know, tucked in first time. And for all intents and purposes, that's such a basic goal to score. But the way that each act was executed was just, you know, you could have asked it for better. And it's that easy to score, really, when you boil it down to it. Clarke-Harris can win his flick ons, and the ball back to him was incredible. So
it was one of my favourite goals that we scored this season. Let's just hope that he keeps fit. He was clearly very blowing after about probably 50, 60 minutes and probably should have come off a bit earlier, but the fact he got 70 minutes is incredibly impressive and a testament to how much he's worked to get back and to get playing. Shows his kind of personality, which is great. And his goal was the icing on the cake. I mean, the way that everyone celebrated, not just himself, but everyone was really behind it. It's that team cohesion that I think we've all wanted for a while. Just something to support and get behind. And it was really good seeing him score. I mean, would have been good if anyone would have scored, but it makes it that storyline a little bit better that it was him.
Absolutely. YouTuber said Green's too good for this league. Paul Woods is amazing. So happy for him. Chelson asked his contract situation. It was a 2-year contract he signed on, so I had a catch contract this summer. But knowing there could always be a clause on our side to extend by a year, potentially. We don't. That's just pure speculation. But hopefully that will be the case. What was also impressive, Mick, is it linked up Green really, really well with everybody straight away. Tom mentioned the second goal there. The flick on from Clarke-Harris to Green, back inside. He worked really well with Wilkes. He did a few nice interchanges with Sam Nombe. This is a guy who's not played with none of them. He might have played for Nombe very briefly, very, very briefly last season in competitive games. The way he just slotted in it shows the quality of the player, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we can go over this all night, can't we? We know what a quality player he is. We know what pedigree he's got, and as has already been said, he's far too good for League One. We need to just make hay while the sun shines, and hopefully we can keep him fit. Because we can keep him fit, he is actually a big player, for us. Rather than the nonsense we've had previously about big players missing and everything else. That's not been the case. The odd one has been missing here and there. But we don't, you don't just rely on the odd one player. However, in terms of Andre Green's ability, should he be able to maintain this form that he's started back with, he is the kind of player that when he is injured, you do miss massively. So he's had a massive impact yesterday, and he had a big impact on Tuesday night in the Tranmere game as well, first game back. So as has already been said, once he gets fully fit, he's going to be a huge problem for a lot of teams in this league. We've got to keep him fit, and we've got to continue to play the kind of football that we played yesterday. And if we do that, then I said it in post-match, we've gone from looking down to looking up straight away, simply because of the improvements in performances. But it's got to be maintained. It's not just, you said it. You said it about springboards yesterday again in the post-match, and maybe it is. Hopefully it is, but it's going to be more than one game. And the last thing is to go to Mansfield next weekend and just start opening it straight up pitch again. That's the worry, and it's only a worry because we've done it for 15, 16, 17 games this season with give or take the same squad. There's been the odd changes here and there. Clarke-Harris has been out for a bit or whatever. But give or take, we've done it with the same squad. So this is not we've got everybody back fit now so we can start to play differently. Or what that is. But there has been a definite, distinct change for the better. It's not a criticism, it's for the better. Andre Green is going to be key to that moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Harris is still waiting for a Rotherham hat-trick. Last one was Frex against Walsall in 2017. That's quite a while ago. It's amazing that Smith got all them goals in that season. It's amazing he didn't get that trick with 25 goals, wherever it were. I'm surprised he never get one. But yeah, just the front four now. We talked about this in the post-match yesterday, but you got a front four now: Joseph Clarke-Harris, Sam Nombe, Malik Wilkes, and Andre Green. That'll be the envy of a lot of League One. And there'll be a lot of League One defenders really hoping that one or two of those get injured, because that front row showed it yesterday. And you look at the players. If you can get those players firing, you are going to win a lot of games this season. All four of them individually are very, very good players, and they seem to link up very well.
Yeah, they do indeed. I mean, at times the four of them can be interchangeable as well. Possibly Clarke-Harris more as a centre forward more than anybody, but Nombe can certainly play there and do a job. And on paper, I know football's not played on paper, it's played on grass, but on paper, that front four is scary, which is why potentially Evans might go back to the drawing board with his plans of getting in a striker in January. All right, fair enough, we could need backup here and there, but if we can keep those 3 of those 4 fit, more leaning on towards Green because, he's the fresher back, shall we say, it could prove fruitful for us. I mean, yesterday was the first time all 4 had been fit since we signed Andre Green, and he was injured last November, and since we signed the other lot. So to see him all be fit at the same time, and to score 3 goals, it's like what I said to you at the start of the season, Matt. The ingredients are there for us to absolutely batter somebody. And arguably, if all 4 of them were on top game, we would have battered Northampton. We got 3, we'll take 3. But if Green keeps progressing as he is and we get 90 minutes out of him, there's no reason why he can't be incredible in this league. And it feels like a new signing, and we don't want to rush him too quickly or anything, but it could be so important to our season now. And I think going back to the drawing board, if Evans chooses to do that, it should be looking at strengthening the defence or midfield to support that front 4. Because, like I said, some teams will look at that with envy and go, bloody hell, how are we going to stop that? That will be scary. If we could play Clarke-Harris as a centre forward, I suppose Wilkes on the right-hand side, Green on the left, and Nombe in behind, and sort of have them as a free-floating 3 behind Clarke-Harris, where they're interchangeable and he crosses into the box, but also playing behind, etc., etc. We could score a hatful, an absolute hatful, between now and March time, potentially.
Yeah. Agree. Sean Hitch says, agreed out of contract, you'd wish we could offer him a new deal. He would pay the fee to sign, surely. But it's just the same with Hacks, clubs closed. Yeah, let's talk about contract situations, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's talk about the 3rd goal, Tom. Another set-piece goal. This one was less pretty than Jules' and Rackett's. But at the same time, then those stats are going to be adding up. The goals from set-piece, and that's going to build confidence when you're taking set-pieces. The players are going to expect it. The opposition is going to be kind of worried about it. It's working so much better now.
Yeah, I mean, I still question Powell's dead ball set plays, but that one that he put in was right on the money. And again, it was Clarke-Harris knocking it down, who seemed to win everything yesterday. Obviously, it's a scrappy goal, but you got to reward them for being there in the right place and having that attacking instinct. And it felt, felt really deserved. I think 3-0 didn't flatter us. I think it was a very deserved scoreline. And yeah, I mean, if it isn't one in the air, safe to say it can be one on the ground in regards to set pieces. So that's always a positive to know that there's players lurking about. But yeah, I mean, it's bizarre how Powell's set piece deliveries, get better when the ball's rolling, as opposed to a dead ball situation. It's strange, but yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. He put in some really, really good balls yesterday when it was rolled to him, and some others where it was just dead ball situations. Starting to get that on the money, which is excellent. And then sort of an easy 30 minutes after that, I don't think we really stepped. I think we took our foot right off the gas, which is fine. Defended well. But yeah, a little bit of showboating here and again, mainly from Wilkes, is always good, and it shows that the players have confidence. So yeah, I think it was done and dusted early in the second half, and I don't think it flattered us in the slightest. I think it could have been 4 or 5.
Yeah, I completely agree. And talking about defensive, McDonald Scott says, what are your thoughts on Zach Jules? To me, he's looking like a great signing. I'll come to Zach Jules specifically in a minute, but defensively, that defensive unit was brilliant yesterday. We didn't look like we were going to concede a goal, and that's probably for the first time this season that I've kind of thought that in the game. Obviously, we have kept clean sheets this season, obviously, but we just looked comfortable. And again, I don't know whether that's Northampton or whether it was us. I'm going to choose to pick us. But that back four just so comfortable, and Hacks and Jules were just great together.
Yeah, good combo. Good combo. Probably one of the better combos that we've got, if I would argue. And yeah, Zach Jules reminds me of Cam Humphreys very much, in terms of his ability, in terms of his willingness to step out with the ball, in terms of what he's capable of doing with the ball. He's just a little bit more commanding in the air than Cam Humphreys, so he's arguably better in that position. Hacks, you know what you're going to get from Hacks, and I've seen a lot of people saying today, and that I'm beginning to tend to agree that maybe that's his rightful position in that back line. You know, he's very, very strong in there, and for the first time in quite a few games now. Sorry, let me rephrase that. For the first time in quite a few seasons now, we actually look quite solid at the back, and never really looked like we were going to be in any danger. Obviously, a lot of that is down to the opposition. They were hardly threatening, were they, at any point in the game? But nevertheless, Zach Jules, like him a lot. I do like him a lot, and I like him even more with Hacks at the side of him.
I like him. Tom Case says Jules and Hacks, big and strong. Both have got a pace. My problem with Hacks is, in defence, is that he gives the ball away a lot. He's not very good. No, sorry. With the ball at his feet isn't his strongest attribute. And he's prone to misplaced passes. Now, in midfield, when you're playing as an attacking midfielder kind of thing, it's fine. It's okay. We can deal with that. If he makes a mistake, if he does give the ball away cheaply, which he can do, we're going to be in serious trouble straight away. So that's my concern for Hacks as a centre half. Everything else of his game is suited perfectly to be a centre half. I worry about is looking after the ball, kind of thing.
I agree with you there, but I also think he's more comfortable doing it though than Raggett and McCart, and he's more comfortable being able to bring it out from the back, and I think that's an attribute in itself. I agree with you though that sometimes he does do it and he trips over his own feet, and that's fine if you're in the final third because you're not in any danger of a goal. But there was a couple of times yesterday where he got away from a challenge, but you thought if he didn't, they've got a one-on-one here and a better team punishes you. And yeah, it would fill me a little bit with unease, but I don't mind it. I think the couple of times he did do it set off really good breaks. So if it works well, you know, it can really start up the attack. But likewise, if it don't go so well, I think he's first one. I think he's prime suspect for being at fault for the goal. So yeah, two ways of looking at it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Odoffin looks so much more comfortable at centre back. He says he even carried ball forward a few times because he wasn't doing it from midfield. Also Joe Powell, Danny. He hit the bar, which I think was put in the comments. Bar's still rattling, I think. Yeah. But for the first time this season, that midfield looked like a proper midfield. We're going to come to T here in a minute again, because again it was great. But Joe Powell it seemed like he was, whether he was given more freedom or more confidence, I don't know. But he had much more impact on the game. And in that first half, when we went under the cosh for about half an hour, Powell was massive in that because he was constantly recycling the ball and getting the ball back in. So hopefully we're maybe seeing the real Joe Powell appear, Danny.
Yeah, he sort of found his groove a little bit in recent games, hasn't he? And that strike that hits the crossbar, I mean, yeah, whoever said it in the comments is right. If you went down to New York Stadium right now, the ball would still be rattling from that. It's such a shame that it just didn't quite dip in time, because that would be an absolutely fantastic goal if it had crossed the line. But it didn't. You know, try again next time. If he can hit those from 25 yards out, then, you know, fair play to him. But yeah, getting us out of trouble in the first half, delivering set pieces now. He seems to be really, really finding his confidence and playing with a lot more freedom. It's like suddenly the shackles are off, and Joe Powell suddenly turned into the player that, you know, we hoped he would be, and that we were told that he was. And I'm all here for it. It just seems to all be clicking right now. Like, obviously, consistency will, you know, be the determining factor in if we can keep going with this. But in terms of the Northampton game and the games before that, it just seems to all be coming together nicely. Like Clarke-Harris is finding his accuracy, Powell's finding his form, Adoffin's looking a lot better and a lot more confident. We've got Green back as well. And like you say, the midfield looked like a midfield. It didn't look, well, it looked like we had a midfield for one, because in previous games, we might as well have not had one. But now we seem to be playing it on the ground more. The midfield's getting involved, and we're seeing some really good performances from our midfield lot. And yeah, like I said, I just hope Powell cracks on with it and finds a consistency, because if he stays consistent with how he is right now, again, he's another player that will be a real backbone for this team for the rest of the season. But again, the hinge point for me is consistency. If you do it game to game, especially away from home, we'll be fine, but we need to find the away form to match how we're playing at home at the minute.
Yeah. On that, what I want to say is that Steve Evans said he's a Ben Pringle type player. He's absolutely nothing like Ben Pringle, is he? He's absolutely nothing like Ben Pringle. They're not even slightly. They've both got a good left foot. That's literally the only comparison.
They both got heads.
They've both got heads. Yeah. They both played or have played for Rotherham United.
Yeah, you're doing this a disservice here. There are quite a few similarities when you actually think it through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just come so different. Powell's literally a central player. He's a midfielder and a really, really, really good midfielder. Obviously, that was Prince. Never did that. He was an amazing winger. But yeah, that was a.
Is he gone?
Does that mean Matt's gone?
I think he's gone.
Calling the dark side of the moon. Hello.
I think the thing is with Powell.
I can hear you all.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, he's back now.
Hello.
We'll keep talking.
I think it's the computer on Wi-Fi. Anyway, Chris Teehee, Tom. Talk to me about Chris Teehee, because he was excellent again, and I hope this is not an injury problem, because he's probably one of the reasons we've been good over the last 2 or 3 games. Is because Chris Teehee has been excellent. Yeah,
he does it. He does his role really well. That sort of holding, screening, keeping the ball simple. He's excellent at it, and he's one of, and along with Green now, that I'd feel when he has the ball, he wouldn't give it away, and whether or not he does is a different matter. But he's got that assurance and that comfortability around him. He's got an engine. He reads the game really well. I think he's a really good player. That goes under the radar a lot. I think often he's described as playing within himself. I think Paul Davis says a lot, and I can see that. And I think finally he's sort of coming out of that and playing with a bit more confidence and a bit more swagger about his game, because when he's on it, he can drive with the ball. He can do it all really as a midfielder wanted. A holding midfielder sort of needs to do. And he offers that screening and protection that Powell probably needs alongside him to be that bit more creative and allow that front four to do what they did. And the amazing thing is that you bring him off and you bring on Liam Kelly, who's almost an exact like for like. And I thought again was excellent. They just do the same job really well. Teehee's obviously a little bit quicker and a little bit more easy on the eye, I'd say, arguably. But I think both of them are excellent players. But yeah, for me, Teehee is one of the under the radar a lot, and sometimes it's very quiet, and I think that's part of his game. But in games like yesterday, I think it's quite obvious what he brings to the table, and it's that assurance and the sort of defensive output that you don't usually see, and constantly in space to receive the ball. And I think I feel I feel safe whenever he's on the ball. Which is one of the main things I think he offers.
Yeah, I mean, this is maybe one of the slight frustrations week of the season so far, is that these midfielders are really good, and that's been the frustration when we've bypassed the midfield. We're now showing, and this is what happened last again. First one to Steve Evans, the midfield was great. Frex, Michael O'Connor, David Noble. We could go on. We're maybe starting to see that he's learned how to use this midfield again, and hopefully this is now going to put us on a path, because whenever you use the midfield, you're in games more.
I don't like the way you phrase that question. You just set me up there, haven't you? You just set me up to be negative. That's what you're doing. I've seen it. I saw it coming. I'm going to tap it in. It was just rolling along 6-yard box in an empty net, innit? But yeah, who knew that if you gave the midfield the ball, they might be able to do something with it instead of watching it sail over their head? I think everybody who watched Rotherham United all season, apart from the management team, recognised that. And the first 2 or 3 times that we do it within games, look what happens. And you're absolutely right. Chris T has been absolutely great. He's been outstanding. You know, he's played that holding midfield role. He's making himself available all the time for the short ball. He's opening the game up. He's opening play up. Joe Powell is getting on the ball. He's playing some really, really good passes, some really penetrating passes. He's getting forward. He's getting the balls into the box. They're getting the ball and they are creating problems. Who knew? We said it. We said it time and time again, and now it's happening. Why should we be surprised? We shouldn't be surprised. You know, and Chris T, he goes under the radar, like Tom said many times. He's a quality player, and he would be ahead of Kelly for me at the moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Kelly's coming back from injury as well, but because of his pace and everything else, other than that, there's very little to choose between them. So yeah, look. We've said it all season, all of us, you know, us on the podcast, supporters, the management team, everybody have said we have got some quality in this squad, enough quality in this squad to get us out of the league, probably, arguably, but certainly to be sitting higher up. Give them the ball. That's been the issue, hasn't it? And that's what's been happening. We've given it them and they've run with it. 6 goals in 2 games we've scored.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Something I said we were going to do, we obviously do the prediction league, and I said I was going to get an award or trophy for it. And we have. It has arrived. So I've been catching up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's great. And I got a sense of inspiration. When they do the Halloween heists, one of the Halloween heists, they have a championship belt, which they're going to steal. And if you don't watch it, you should watch it. It's great. But anyway, so the winner of the prediction league will win.
Oh, that's amazing.
How cool is that?
That is really cool.
That was the proper one.
Oh my word.
How good's that?
That is really good, yeah.
Great follow. Nothing. It's been passive aggressive up in the corner.
You're winning. You could get this, mate.
Oh,
you're in the lead.
Will it hold my trousers up?
No. Probably not.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now you've got something worth fighting for.
That's really good.
So that's where the holiday budget went for this year, right? Okay.
Correct. Oh yeah, there we go. I feel like that's a belt to Matt. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike.
That's very good.
Yeah, Steve Nick, that's the podcast budget gone. Absolutely is. Yeah. What are you going to do? You're going to give me money to play with. I'm going to play with the money.
So anyone who's very kindly donated via Super Chat and things in the past, now you know where your money's gone.
We could pay for better Wi-Fi for Vidani. We could buy Tom a microphone. We could do all these things. But instead, I've just chose to buy a boxing belt. Just a laugh.
No, in all honesty, Matt, that does look class.
Yeah, it makes me want to win now.
Yeah.
Genuinely does.
If you win it, you've got to put it in the background of your podcast in every episode. You've got to display it. It's not something that, you know,
goes into it.
For it. It's going to sit up there for the rest of the season. It's going to sit up there.
I'll let you win it then, Tom, because I can't afford a divorce. I'm not there. You're flag, mate.
Oh God.
Yeah. Right, I want to move back to Jonathan Clarke-Harris, Danny, because I thought he was excellent yesterday. I think I said this actually think it's one of his best performances in the Rotherham United shirt ever over both spells. If we ignore the fact he scored 2 goals, which we're not going to, but if you did, there would still be loads of his play that was really, really good. The flick on for the second goal, which to Green, which obviously came back to Clarke-Harris was excellent. His hold-up play was better than it's been all season. Like Tom mentioned earlier, he won basically everything in the air, and he was a constant threat. Maybe Clarke-Harris is finally fit. It's taken 4 months, but maybe we've got to finally fit Clarke-Harris.
Yeah, maybe he's not running at 80% the whole time he's been playing, and he's actually 100% now. But I think a lot of it is down to confidence. I think recently, both from him and from the squads as well, because over the recent games we do seem to be playing with more confidence and more threat going forwards, which both suit Clarke-Harris. If the team's playing with confidence, then he plays with confidence, and if we're moving it forward, then it suits him because he'll be in the 6-yard box. I think for all 3 of our goals, he was at least in the 6-yard box for every single one of them in some regard, whether it's waiting for the flick on from Green with the header and in the mass scramble for the 3rd goal. He was always present in that area, which I suppose is what you want from a centre forward. But in previous games, he hasn't, which could be a fitness thing, could be a confidence thing, etc. But it's just nice to see Clarke-Harris has effectively arrived. Like, we've sort of seen splutterings of it beforehand, but especially with the Northampton game, it feels like he's arrived. It felt like a captain's performance. It felt like a leading from the front performance. And we've had our criticisms of a centre forward being captain in the past, and is Clarke-Harris the right person, etc., etc. But yesterday felt like he took command of it and has gone, yeah, I'm going to win everything. I'm going to keep on top of everything. I'm going to score, and I'm going to lead these lads to victory. And watching the highlights back, the highlights end with the final whistle, and straight away he's celebrating with the fans on the pitch and with the cart. And for me, it's like, yeah, we've got the job done. Well done, lads. So it's nice to see Clarke-Harris having that confidence. And again, like I said before, if he carries that on, he'll bag a hatful this season. And I'm all here for it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean H, so what was with Johnson Clarke-Harris's back celebration about? I don't know.
There was something on Twitter mentioned that it was a lad who was a mascot asked him to do it. I think.
Right, okay, that's cool.
I think I could be wrong, but that's the impression I got from the interaction on Twitter. X, whatever.
Cool. Like it. To play devil advocate with the Johnson Clarke-Harris, Tom, are we saying that Johnson Clarke-Harris was loads better, or are we saying that the team helped him by not just pumping it long all the time? We did go direct, second goal come from a direct ball, but going less direct, is that why Clarke-Harris was better?
Yeah, and I don't think we were less direct. I think we weren't hoofballing as Mick alluded to earlier, but it was more of a committed to, sort of direct to Clarke-Harris. We know he wins his flick-ons, and we had runners in behind, hence the second goal. And, we said it before, he wins everything in the air. And I think you get the players around him, and he'll get in the box. And as soon as he's in the box, you'd back him, like you said, 99 times out of 100, because he's a finisher. He's not a hold-up man. I think his hold-up play is, fine, but not good. And I think that's fair, because it's not, not everyone can be great at everything, right? So we need to play to his strengths and balls in the box, width, getting players around him. He knows where to be in the box, and he knows how to finish. The only criticism I still have of his is that he's so defensively minded when it comes to work rate and sort of best for the team, and he does work hard for the team. I mean, he was constantly talking, constantly setting the tempo, setting the press, but there was times where we were on the break and he was at right back or the centre of the pitch, and that's fine if he can make it up the other end of the pitch, but a lot of the time he couldn't. And I know he scored 2, and I know he had a fantastic game, but there are situations that if he was making that run in behind, or if he was up with play, he would have even more goals. And I think that whilst he was good, he probably thinks he could still be better. And and I think that's what will spur him on to sort of, keep getting better. And as Ben said on the post match, maybe 30 goals is a bit too much to ask for him now. I think he's on 6 in the league.
7, I think. Well, 7 in all competition.
7 in all, yeah. But I mean, not completely unfathomable for him to make it, to make that. So yeah, I just think he needs to maybe relax a bit on the tracking back, because although it's it's for the team and he's doing it with a purpose, we're sort of left a bit. It'd be good to have him in the other box, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah, it was, absolutely. Let's talk about the only kind of really contentious moment in terms of the referee make.
Oh God!
And this was weird, wasn't it? This was properly weird.
Bad.
What I will say also, it got the drop ball situations wrong almost every time as well.
Yeah.
Whether we had the ball, they gave it them back, or even vice versa. I thought contested drop balls had come back in. We've certainly them last year, but apparently they've come back out again. But this one was just madness. He dropped the ball to Northampton. You know, we had the ball. He dropped the ball to Northampton on basically on the edge of the box. He dropped the ball, told the player to play the ball. Mm-hmm. Player touched the ball, so played it. Clarke-Harris dispossessed him and was about to score, basically. The referee decided that the ball wasn't live, even though the player had touched it, and the referee told the player to touch it, and then brought the game back. For that, it was just it was a complete mess, and I felt like the referee just put himself in a situation that he didn't need to put himself in, and then he kind of panicked.
I saw it slightly differently to the way you described it there, but he dropped the ball at the player's feet, and the player moaned and groaned about Clarke-Harris being too near to him. And Clarke-Harris then took the ball away, and the referee waved play on. He literally put both arms out and waved play on. And then probably 6 or 7 paces, Clarke-Harris had probably taken 6 or 7 paces towards the goal and was almost about to pull the trigger when he blew his whistle. Stopped it again. It was a really, really, really bizarre brain fart on behalf of the referee. He's obviously completely lost any concept of what's actually happening in front of his eyes at that point, because it allowed play. In fact, it actively encouraged players to play on, and then stopped it when he realised that we're probably going to score a goal as a result of it. So yeah, it was peculiar, really, really peculiar. I don't know what he was thinking. No idea what he was thinking there. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't that bad for the rest of the game. It was the drop balls he had an issue with. He clearly had an issue with the drop balls, because whenever he gave one, and there were 3 or 4 actually, surprisingly, sorry. And each time he gave it to the wrong team. So I don't know, but. Just really peculiar, a really peculiar set of circumstances. And Mike's put in there that players from both sides have to be 4.5 yards away from where the ball was dropped, apart from the ball. Yeah, which I think probably Clarke-Harris was. That's not necessarily the issue. The issue, I think, is what happened. What happened subsequent to the ball being dropped. The Northampton player did touch the ball, but then moaned as he was doing it. Clarke-Harris then came and dispossessed him and was running towards goal. It was 6-7 yards away from the player, having taken the ball off him and dribbled it before he stopped play. And in that time, he indicated for it to carry on, which just it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it was just a bit strange, frustrating.
It's like going to safety first option, Tom. I know referees do this sometimes, that you just stop the game. Just stop the game. Don't allow a goal to be scored, because then Northampton would have been unhappy. I think Northampton would have been unjustly unhappy, but he would have been surrounded instantly from the Northampton players. I think he's just played it safe.
Yeah, he didn't.
It's not always the right thing to do.
No, he didn't want the fuss at all. It was just a case of, I made a mistake, or not even I made a mistake. This player's been yeah, I might have made a mistake and I might have to deal with the consequences. And he's gone, I'd rather not give a goal and have the game play out than give, than allow Clarke-Harris to continue. And you know what? He might have missed, and then it wouldn't have mattered. He would have made the right decision, and everything would have been, okay. And we won comfortably in the end, so it didn't matter anyway, really. But it just goes to show the sort of aptitude of refs in this league are just still appalling. They still don't know what they're doing. And I know you said he was all right for the rest of the game, Mick, but there was nothing to decide really. There was no big decision. He was comfortably anonymous for the rest of the game. But yeah, I mean, it was the worst decision I've seen for a long time, because he lost it after that. For me, I think drop balls, especially, he had no clue what he was doing. But yeah, I mean, who knows? If that would have been allowed, he probably would have gotten a lot of stick from Northampton players. And after the contentious offside call for the first goal, I think he didn't want the hassle of being labelled a cheat or whatever it may be. So
yeah. But like I said, thankfully it didn't matter in the end because it was so comfortable. But I do think he made the wrong decision. Tom K says he didn't stop play with Teehee and Nombe. The Nombe one was particularly obvious. It was laid literally flat out on his back at the other pitch, and I understand the referee can't see things, but he's got three other people who are meant to be helping him. As a team, that's quite a big failure, especially head injuries. We know how important they are. That's a real failure on the part of the refereeing team, for particularly the Nombe one. I thought.
I'm feeling like they had somebody who stood up touchline just looking about what to see what was happening, and then they could be in touch with them. Maybe they should do that. They could perhaps call it like a fourth official or something like that. They could have a radio and they could speak to us. I'll write to I'll message to Howard's Web and ask him if he wants to put that in place. It's a good idea. I might get a Christmas bonus or something from PGMOL. I'm not being critical of them.
Yeah. Right, I want to touch on the atmosphere, because we've talked about the atmosphere quite a lot recently, and it started off pretty quiet, but I thought towards the end of the game, everything started to pick up a little bit. And maybe, Danny, it's only baby steps. I'm aware of that. I'm not getting carried away, but as fans, that's what we needed. I've been saying this all season, and I stand by it. You need something to hang on to. And yesterday, the fans got something to hang on to. And I think the atmosphere, it wasn't electric, but I think the fans responded, certainly later on in the game. And I thought the atmosphere was massively improved compared to previous games, certainly the Lincoln game.
Yeah, it's funny what 3-0 towards end of game does to fans, isn't it? But no, seriously, I can understand the trepidation at the start of the game, like which way is this going to go? But I think the whole going back to, like I said on Twitter, how the fans think Rotherham United should be, like the Rotherham United in our eyes, is what they were seeing, and that's why the atmosphere crept back. And like you say, it wasn't completely rocking or anything, but it gave fans something to, like you mentioned there, Matt, to look forward to and to hope for. And to hope for now is that we maintain this performance level, especially at home. I know Mark's mentioned about, the success of this newfound way of playing will come away from home at Mansfield or wherever. Yeah, exactly. Before we get too carried away, let's see how we do at Mansfield. Putting in a shift and winning away from home is a better measure of progress. Yeah, I agree. But certainly for the home crowd, if we are consistent with how we played at Northampton, then New York will slowly bring its atmosphere back and the fans will slowly come back round and we'll see more people going, which will make the atmosphere build even more, etc., etc., etc. So that's why I say this game is quite important, because it's not just a turning point for the players, potentially for the fans as well. And if we keep it going, then the fans will keep it going as well. But it's just nice to know that New York Stadium felt a bit more alive in a game this season. It's nice to know that.
Yeah, it is. And if we can go on a run between now and the end of the year, we've got three games left of the year. Mansfield, Wigan, and Stockport. Mansfield away, Wigan, and Stockport at home. We've got a mini unbeaten run, win 2 out of 3 or whatever the case may be. Again, it just builds that positive air, builds the atmosphere will come back. There were still masses of empty seats yesterday. Ignore what they announced as the official attendance, because that, again, we know why, but that was nowhere near the actual attendance. If it was 7,000, I think I would be surprised. But it's about improvement, Mick, and it's about seeing that improvement on the pitch. And it feeds. We again, this is something we've been saying since Matt Taylor came in. So the players have to give us something. The players gave us something, and the fans. I thought, again, not electric, but the fans absolutely responded.
Yeah, they did, and it'll take a few weeks, it'll take some consistency before it really starts to get back to where it should be, where it can be. Boxing Day will be a barometer. If we could win 2 or 3 games between now and Boxing Day, I think we've only got 2 games anyway, haven't we? So, then it should set it up as Chris has put there in the comments. We play well, get a result. It will set that Boxing Day game up, because it's obviously traditionally a well-attended game. The atmosphere will be great, all being well. So let's see. Keep it going. We have got something to build on here, because of the way that we've played, and that's key for me. That is absolutely key. I said it on post-match. The result's great, but it's not the most important thing. What's most important is that performance, and it's just so different, so wildly different to anything that we've seen all season, to the point of being a bit strange in my view. But that's just my conspiracy theory head. I don't know.
It's football's weird, isn't it? Things can change, can't they? Things can click. Again,
that's not a click. The change in performances is not a click. I'm not buying that in any way.
We said at the start of the season that Evans will keep changing things until they find something that works.
Well, yeah, and absolutely, and that's what he's done. There's no doubt about it. That's exactly what he's done. He's actually come up with a plan. So we haven't had one up to now, and that plan's worked, and it's worked really well. So hats off.
Okay. You somehow managed to make that positive thing negative. It sounds like a negative anyway.
Well, you're taking it that way, and it's negative because that's all we've had all season. No plan, no tactics, no idea. We've said it time and time again, not just us, everybody in the comments, fans on social media, journalists from various different newspapers and radio stations have all said exactly the same thing. There's been no plan, no tactic. We've got one now. It's quite clear what the plan was yesterday and in the Tranmere game, and it worked. So it's not a negative in any way.
Okay, good.
Just saying.
Good. John, previous Stockport game, but Louis Barry could be his final game for Stockport, which would be a shame it's not a week later, I suppose. He's will come out at the time. David Pears goes, please don't get promotion this season. Nice positive run until May, and then bolster the team with some young, hungry signings to give us a chance to stay up the year after. In theory, that'd be good. I don't think that's the Evans style, but in theory, I'm with you on that one, David. Right, Virtue Cup, the big one. The draw was made on Saturday lunchtime-ish. And to be fair, Tom, it's a decent draw. Chesterfield away, local derby, not played them since 2017, which I think was in this competition. Good draw, really good draw. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, the Virtue Cup is good. I think monetary wise, I think it's really good. I think you can get far in the competition relatively easily if you properly play and set out to win. Some people use it as a break, some people don't. And it could, this could be potentially a season capped off with a trophy. And would that be an unsuccessful season? Probably not. No, it would be a successful season. So there's all the chance to rave about who we're playing next. And I think Chesterfield being so close away. Don't know when the last time we played them was. I'm sure that's what you're looking at up now. But
we're 2012, I think.
But yeah, I mean they're a decent side as well, so it won't be a walkover. It should be an interesting game. Yeah, I think it would be I think it'll be good, and hopefully we can make it all the way in this competition and win it, because that would be a quintessential, good successful season. Whether or not we make playoffs or not, I think if we make it to the final and or win the thing, I think it's a positive. As it's can't be anything but a positive, right? Looking forward to that. When is it? January the
14th, probably. Yeah, no, it's week commencing 13th, so probably will be 14th.
Yeah. They have a good side, and they should be up for it as much as we are. So should be a
good
game.
They'll be up for it more. Yeah, it's not the biggest derby. I think they dislike us more than we dislike them, but it's still a local derby. But we want to win. Last time we went to Chesterfield was August 2012, which was a 1-1 draw, which was very early in the days of Steve Evans. So it Steve Evans' era. But it's another one of those Danny, that's you can use as another potential springboard. A derby win in any competition is important, and it builds something between you and the fans. And Evans knows this. He's been around the block. He knows that. So I expect to see a strong performance in that Chesterfield game because he'll want to use it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a strong performance and a strong starting 11, which seems to be the preferred way of approaching the competition at the minute. It seems to be more fringe players who haven't got into the team, but it still looks like a strong 11. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Chesterfield's ground will be full because it is a virtual cup game.
I think it'll be really good.
I think some people have too strong a reservation about the cup competition to make the effort. Don't get me wrong, I still think it'll be a bigger attendance than what we're used to in this competition, apart from the final. But, it is one of them games where it's just like, I've not played Chesterfield for a bit. I think the most recent one was in a pre-season game under Paul Warne. I definitely remember going to Chesterfield for a pre-season game. Might have been 17-18 season potentially. Anyway, but yes, I'm going to try and go. It should be a good game, and I just hope a fair few do travel, but I fear they won't. But again, might play into our favour because we've played really well in this competition in front of a few people. And I suppose we could come away with the sense of pride of, yes, we've beaten Chesterfield, because they were our divisional rivals for a long, long time, weren't they? When like the Sheffield clubs, Barnsley, and even Doncaster for a time, when they were above or below us, it was always Chesterfield in either third or fourth division. Maybe that's why they hate us more than we hate them, because we were better than them. But to meet a local rival in like one of the hotter stages of a cup competition, the competitive stages, is the round of 16?
That's 16, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, so it could make it a bit feisty. It could make it really entertaining, but I do think we'll turn up for it. We'll turn up with a strong squad and a strong sense of we're going to beat you. Just hope that we do.
Yeah, Tom Cases would have preferred a home game, but we can't really complain since all bar one have been at home so far. Yeah, you've got to get some away. We have played them in a meaningful game. When we played them in the last time, like Steve Mike mentions, that was a group stage. Attendance of a group stage are always going to be a bit lower, unless it's Chesterfield on the way back up. I haven't played this in a long time. I haven't played them in a long time, so hopefully we've got a good few people there, but we'll see. Yeah, Harry. Yeah, this is the last regionalised round. So after this, it will be a free draw, depending on who gets through and who's not through. There's only one youth team left in, but they played Blackpool this week. So the northern side, anyway. I've ticked off everything from my list. Is there anything else we want to mention?
No, I think we're done.
No, I don't think so.
Mick, I think you should be could be employed as LPMC's promoter. Do you want to tell everybody how good last night was at Lee's gig?
Yeah, it was awesome, wasn't it? It was absolutely top draw. It's the first time I've actually been to an actual gig at Cutler's as well. It's a nice, really tidy little venue, isn't it? That back there. Yeah, really, really good as always. I can't believe that he's not more popular than he actually is. You know, the music's not getting played because it really is very, very good. So, yeah, as always, top work, Lee. Top work, mate.
Yeah. We saw a few people that recognise the podcast. If you're the man who took a picture with selfie with Ben in the toilets,
yeah,
that
I don't know what to say, to be honest. I just want to get it out there.
Imagine when Ben makes it into the NFL. We've been boxing Cutlers.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Really good night. We'll keep an eye on. Go LPMC music. We'll put this banner up on the screen. LPMC. Also, the banner's got the Cutlers thing, so you can ignore that side of things. But if you go to lpmcmusic.com to check out Lee's stuff, some merch, and some CDs, some vinyls, whatever else.
Yeah.
Ben highly recommends it. Right, we are done for the day. Thank you all for being with us tonight. Make sure you have subscribed if you on YouTube, if you haven't done so already. Make sure if you're watching and you're in the comments, make sure you give the video a like as well. That really helps us push it up, so it gets out to more people. If you are one of the 100 or so people watching on X, make sure you have followed us through there. If you're using Facebook, follow us on there as well, and we're on Threads and anywhere else you can find New York Talk. We will be back on Thursday. That'll be the preview show. The last preview show pre-Christmas, probably. Although we'll need to work out a Christmas schedule, actually, because the game's not about to work out. Keep an eye on the course. There may be something coming out from us this week, different to what we've done recently. That's all I'm going to say at the moment. But I'm sure you will want to watch it as and when it gets uploaded over the next few days. Mick, thank you very much.
You, my friend, are very welcome.
Thank you very much. And Danny, thank you very much, mate.
Yep, always a pleasure, lads. Always a pleasure.
And Tom, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
We will see you all next time. Thank you for watching, and as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
I think I always made the comment that once a Miller, always a Miller.
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! Good Evans, he's done it again. Another promotion for the big man.
I've got 12 bottles of champagne in my office, and we're going to drink them all night.
Do me a favor, drop me off in